I found BeatCancer.Org because I was actually searching to how to become a cancer coach. I had been on my journey for, I think it was 4 years. So I actually read a book. I had a colleague that I was working with, and she was a CNA that I worked with at hospice. And she knew my story, she knew my history, and she had come across this book and she had provided it to me. So it's actually what opened my mind and my insight to this whole world that I had no idea existed. I was kind of frustrated at first, actually, that I was like, there's all this information out here and like nobody knows, nobody's, talking about it. Well, a couple of years go by and I'm still trying to figure out like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to help people? I was thinking about doing kind of like nurse coaching, but I wanted it to be specifically for cancer. I was looking for the education piece. Like the education piece was huge because there's so much that you learn in school, but not enough. You think you're going to go through nursing school or something like that and get all the information that you need to help you, and you don't. And so when I read that book, I remember even looking at my husband and going, oh my gosh, everybody needs to know about this. Why do people not know about all these simple things that you can do? From sleep to certain ways of eating to being able to, help heal yourself emotionally. So I knew that there was still something out there. So I just kept searching. I started searching for cancer coaching, certifications. And I spent a little while, digging into some of them, but I still had to come across this one. But as soon as I did and I read the page, I was like you guys too. You read through it and you're like, oh my gosh, I couldn't remember the weight just coming off of me. And I was crying and I'm like, I am no longer by myself. And so I signed up and took the course. And what's interesting, I was going through the course and I'm like, oh my gosh, why didn't we know about this? And again, it's simple things, improving your body, just functioning from where it's at. And then the different ways that you can approach cancer. And I felt the compassion from Susan's, when she was talking about things, when she was doing her interviews and you're listening to the course was here, you can hear her passion behind it. And that was another important piece of joining organization is, yes, the education is important. The community is important too, but we need to have the compassion point of it. Again, the humanity. And that's what I felt at BeatCancer.Org. As soon as I tried, I felt that humanity again. And I just finally felt like I was home. So Jenny, can you tell us about your story? I mean, you've been with BeatCancer.Org, which is the Center for Advancement of Cancer Education, for a while. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. So I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2017, and throughout my whole entire cancer journey, I've done naturopathic approach alongside my conventional care. And so with a lot of lived experience with that, I was looking for a way that I could help my fellow cancer thrivers with a curriculum, under a coaching home that gave us certification. So it was a real process to walk through, not just my own ideas. So yeah, I saw it also online and decided to go through the process of it. And I had another cancer thriver friend that had also done the coaching process just right before me and really encouraged me to do it, that it would be a good fit. So also hearing from other people that it's a good fit helped me know it's a good investment.
It's a good confidence booster as well. Being part of an organization, being part of a family, that's huge.
I also was I was doing everything by myself, alone. And then you kind of want that support. And here, I joined BeatCancer.Org, and suddenly, I have all these people, even though it was past cancer stage, but then having this support, even people talking your language, right? You're not alone. You're not alone.
Yeah. Obviously, people who are listening to this, we know Maya. English is not your first language. No, it's not. But when it comes to cancer, it's universal. There's no language barrier. I think the thing that we have found, or at least I have found and realized, language is not a barrier. It's all about love. And it's all about accepting and listening and just embracing everyone.
Well, but you bring up a really good point about listening, because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes did you feel so isolated sometimes, even when you are talking to other people that may have kind of gone through a similar situation? But so when you find this group, you feel like you're connected again.
I think the other thing that opened my eyes being here is that I was aware of cancer treatment and some alternative cancer treatment in this country. I had no idea what was going on in other countries. And I was talking to my friend that's here from Denver, and I said, I want to go on a worldwide health tour. Amazing doctor in Germany, and then I want to go to India and visit that amazing doctor. Wouldn't it be great? We could do a documentary on exciting cancer breakthroughs all over the world.
Yeah. And there's so many different ways to approach it. I think that was the other thing that was very relieving is we're not stuck with just chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, and immunotherapy. We're not just stuck with all those. There's a ton of other options. Even when somebody chooses to go down that road and they're maybe told, well, there's nothing else they can do. Those physicians that they're talking to just don't know about the other options. No, there's a lot more that we can do, and there's a lot more that you can do, but they just don't know.
One of my favorite quotes about the naturopathic and holistic world is there is always something else that you can try.
Someone close to me just last week lost a sister to ovarian cancer. And I feel for him, I feel for his parents. And of course, the question comes up in my mind is, what other options were there that she didn't know about? It's heartbreaking to think that she could still be alive if only she was aware and receptive to other options.
I'm going to cry here. My husband's like, Deb, what's the problem? How come you seem so kind of agitated, or you feel like, why are you in such a hurry? I said, I feel like there's not enough time, because it's about helping people.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just not enough time. I mean, I just feel like there's so much that has to get out there. And how do you do that?
And at MD Anderson, I met people from Alaska. I met people from all over the world. I met one guy, he says he's stage 4, and they gave him 2 months. I said, don't listen, and
Right.
I gave him my card. I'm like, I hope you get the help that you need here.
Yeah.
And there's hope beyond here as well.
I like that documentary piece, because that's huge. It could be far-reaching. I would do it in a heartbeat.
That brings up an excellent point, though. A lot of the doctors that are here actually do a lot of telemedicine. You could see a doctor in Germany. There's one from India.
They want to do telemedicine? That's amazing.
Yeah, so a lot of these integrative oncologists are available to everyone, or the majority of people. It's just knowing about finding them.
But we're going to change that. You're changing it already.
And that's one thing as a coach that I help my clients do, is help them find the next step in their naturopathic oncology care, holistic care, whatnot, is helping them find the right clinic to go to for them, or the right practitioner to go to for them. So that's something that we get to help with, which is exciting too. Patients don't have to do it alone.
Yes. There's so much information available. I'm always thinking, how can I grasp everything? How can I want to be a sponge right now. I want to just absorb everything what exists out there. I want to learn about everything, right? And there's so much. And when people get diagnosed with cancer, they're lost. They don't know what to do, what to start, who to contact, without knowing, there's other side, and they can be, connected with so many different, bright minds and doing so much. And that's what actually for me is so heartbreaking. As people coming from a medical background, working in a hospital, they give you just one side and there's nothing else. That's it. There's nothing we can do for you. Is that true that there's nothing they can do for you? No, it's not. There's so much they still can do. They don't know, but that doesn't mean others don't know, right? I would say just don't break. And when you get diagnosed with cancer, just go for it and find people and contact BeatCancer.org, where you're going to get a great support and guidance, right?
Jenny, I think you hit it on the head there. What's the next step? Yeah, it's overwhelming. So it's like, now what do I do?
And the other thing that got reinforced for me here is that the person who's going to get the treatment has to feel that it resonates with them, that what's good for you may not be good for me, and vice versa. And we just have to feel with our being that, listen to our gut and our natural instinct, is this right for me? And once we feel that way, our energy aligns with it, and it's so much more effective.
I just know from my past experience myself, I wasn't comfortable and I spoke up and I would say no. I would advocate for myself, but not everybody knows to do that. We provide that support, that one-on-one unique support that people are needing.
And I think it brings an honor and respect to the individual and what they want to do. And I don't think we always get that in our conventional, but we don't get that in our conventional.
No, the conventional doctors tell you what to do.
Exactly.
They don't ask you what you need or what you want.
Did you feel heard when you were working with your doctors?
Been with one integrative oncologist, now I'm with another. They each have a different way of approaching things. My first experience was within 4 months with natural treatments. I had brought my cancer down to below detectable levels in 4 months. So I said, well, this is real. That's after firing 2 urologists for both telling me that I had to remove my prostate now. They said, it's coming out now or you're going to die. They're just trying to scare you. And when I'm telling them about these alternate treatments, I don't need a needle biopsy because I can take the RGCC test. He says, no, I don't know what that is. So my primary care physician and my urologist, I'm not heard by them. I'm heard by my natural oncologist. And I'm free to speak my mind and to say, this treatment, that's great, but why don't I try this? Can I try this? Or I don't want to do that. And she's very receptive, and she considers everything I say, and she works with me.
Because it's your body and it's your decision when you want to put in your body.
And I try to tell that to the doctors, and the ones that say no are the ones that go.
That's a really good, important piece that, most people don't really understand. They are in charge. It is you in charge. You are paying them to work for you. Yes, they have a wealth of knowledge too, but you are also ultimately in charge of your care. You are the one who makes those decisions at the end.
Respecting their schooling, their education, everything that they've done, their experiences, I understand that. But if I made just a suggestion about something, I said, well, what if I did this? Or what do you think about that? Why I got back was, that's not part of our protocol.
Well, all treatments are not the same for everyone. No matter if you choose alternative and natural, or if you go, with Western medicine, it's all unique, and it needs to be adapted to each person. And a lot of times that does not happen.
That's another way I think that we as coaches help our clients and patients is that a lot of the conversations I have with my coaching clients are around navigating those conversations with their practitioners. So it's not that I'm prescribing anything. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm helping the patient learn and work through what are the next best questions to ask your doctors. How are you navigating asking and having those conversations about side effects and whatnot? When you don't feel like you're getting the answers, where are other places we can go to, even in that same clinic, and find that information for you? So for your specific case.
There are so many things that we don't know what to ask as patients, or there's so much on our minds that we're already thinking about or inundated with, and we don't always remember to write everything down. So having that outside extra person to be able to help guide is so important.